Hello, this is Liz from Ceroc Inspire, and I just want to introduce you to DeeDee.
Hi.
DeeDee is a new member to Ceroc Derby, and we asked her if she would sit down and have a chat with us about her experience. So welcome, DeeDee.
Thank you very much.
Please tell us what brought you to Ceroc.
It was a guy, tall, lanky guy at the health club that I go to called Mark, and Mark was always talking about music. He was always enthusing about what he was doing, and I realised that he was going to all these clubs, and I got jealous.
Wow, really?
So I had a chat with him, and he said, "Why don't you come? Why don't you come?" And I thought, yeah, I should really, because I really miss the social activity of dancing.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been to a nightclub for, I don't know,
Gosh, don't remind me how long.
25 years.
Yeah, me too.
So I used to save up all my dancing joy for weddings.
Yeah.
So Mark talking about it really sort of got my, I just wanted to know more really, but I didn't want to be perceived as being hanging on. So I let him talk one day, and I was with Jyoti, my other friend, who has come to Ceroc with me, and she said, "Oh, let's go." And she's much more spontaneous than me. So we did, and we conned somebody else into coming. Who was nervous, and we went.
So what was the vibe like in the car coming to Ceroc?
What are we doing? We came up with a safe word, which I can't mention in case we didn't like it. If one of us wanted to come home, all three of us would come home.
That's good.
So,
Girl power.
Yeah, so it was about knowing that we all three had imposter syndrome. It wouldn't matter where we were going, it wouldn't matter what we were doing. It's part and parcel of being our age maybe, or being who we were. All three of us were talking about how difficult we found and find being in groups and entering into somewhere that's got a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely.
Not that you would know it, because we're all very good at masking that, but
very good.
The car was full of conversation that was really honest and thoughtful about that. And we did it, and I remember Jyoti going up the sort of the ramp area to get in, and she did this kind of kick in the air, which was about, come on, Dee, come on,
let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We walked in, and Mark was there, and that was a great welcome. Comedy on legs. It was funny and brilliant. There was nobody else there, and Jyoti was giggling, and Lorraine was nervous, and we just walked in, and immediately somebody said hi, and it was just so welcoming.
Good.
Just amazing, really. So that was how it was in the car. That was getting there, and Mark called us before we went to check we were okay, said he would meet us there at 7:30. He was there, bang on the door. So the kindness, the respect that he had for the fact that we were doing something brave was amazing. But that was also extended by everybody that he then introduced us to.
So if I could just stop you there, we're talking about Mark Ilsley, aren't we?
Yeah.
Not our Mark Ceroc, Mark, just to make that clear to everybody. Yeah, carry on. Mark, massive advocate for Ceroc. Thank you, Mark.
We got to meet Mark's friends who were interested in us and were saying appreciative things. We joined a big round table, and it's been like that since. It's just flowed.
Like a big friendly community.
It's a proper old-fashioned club.
Yeah, it is. Just how things used to be before the technical age. Yeah.
Nostalgic in that regard. Yeah. It's a wonderful feeling.
Definitely. Everybody's really friendly and welcoming, aren't they?
And the age group ranged around that table. Very young, and people my age.
Yeah.
And it was fabulous.
Yeah, definitely. And everybody talking together.
Yeah.
No barriers because of the age difference or whatever. Everybody is just.
So that was a lovely sort of a breaking in sort of moment that was wonderful.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's so good to hear. So what was your experience of the class like?
Well, I didn't know what to expect. I had no expectation. I hadn't watched anything. I've never done a dance class in my life. I think I went to one ballet class when I was about 4, and I didn't like it.
No, very different.
So I had no
pirouettes in Ceroc.
no, and I had no idea how it would be taught. It didn't even occur to me to think about that.
No.
So we were lined up, and I thought it's a bit like speed dating, you know. So you know, this idea of one move, I was very familiar with.
Yeah.
Because I've done martial arts.
Okay.
And that silent engagement with a partner is something I've done before, where you really focus in on the feeling.
Yeah.
And leadership.
Yeah.
And leading through.
Yeah.
That's something I love.
Really?
Yes.
Great.
And my past, other passion, I suddenly saw this relationship, and the fact that you would just do one move and move on to the next person, and they might be 6'3", they might be 5'2", they might be a woman, they might be a person that wasn't really very fluid, they might be somebody who was a sashayer. It was just every kind of person.
Yeah.
And lots of them. I mean, I don't know how many people were there that night, but I would think it would be about 78.
Yeah.
Something like that. Because
the
number
average.
of rows there were.
Yeah, that's about average.
So that was just wonderful. That first experience, and then thinking, I know what this is. This is practice. And practice to me means practice, repetition, experience, reflection, you know, that kind of learning.
So do you feel that going around different dancers being moved around in a row is beneficial to your learning? Or would you rather be fixed? You would rather not be fixed?
Totally.
The person?
I think it's the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think the whole thing is because you don't know that you've got energy when you're just dancing with the same person all the time. You don't know the power of your own, and you don't know the power of practice until you actually come up in front of somebody who you don't know is experienced, and suddenly, I get it now. The feeling.
I can dance.
Well, that's the feeling of somebody's life force, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's wonderful.
Absolutely. So what do you like most about Derby?
The club itself, I think the fact that there's respect for people walking through the door.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the care, the kindness and the care that's extended is quite astonishing. The people that are also the experienced dancers, the taxi dancers, and the ones that are disguised as normals, who are scattered in amongst, you know, intermediate and beginners.
Yeah.
Thank you to them, because the way that they were able to appreciate my effort, they would break it down, they would evaluate what I'd done, they'd have some really positive words, and they'd leave me feeling $1 million.
Oh, that's amazing feedback. That's amazing.
That's the amazing aspect of them.
Yeah.
And you know, well done to that team.
Yeah, well done, guys. That's brilliant, isn't it?
Mm.
So how would you describe the vibe at Derby? How does it feel?
I think it's a sort of rambunctious suaveness. It's something really, really special there. Smorgasbord.
Yeah.
Yeah. Smorgasbord of experiences crammed into 2.5 hours. It is fabulous.
Yeah.
And I've made friends with people who I think are really worth the effort.
Yeah.
And hope that they will be part of my sort of social life moving forward. So
I'm sure there will be.
Yeah.
I'm sure there will be. There's a lot of friendships, relationships, and even marriages happen at Ceroc,
I
believe it
can
or
see
not.
how that would happen.
Yeah, it does
I can see
happen.
how that would happen.
Yeah, some great friendships. I mean, Mark and I, our friendships there have been long-standing now.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't be without that friendship group. They're supportive in and out of Ceroc. You know, they're friends that you do count as friends for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what you find when you come there. And if you're somebody who sits at home and is lonely and doesn't have a community around them, because it does happen as we get older, it happens. I think that is a place to come, because you are accepted for who you are.
No, totally.
When you walk through the door, that's you know, whoever you are, you are your real self. You walk through the door, and you're embraced. It's like a big hug, isn't it?
It is. That word embracing is very, very true. That's a great way of explaining it.
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
So, yeah. I mean, for myself, I've had some health issues over the last few years and some personal issues, and I've had such amazing support from the Ceroc community that they don't have to do that. You know, I run the night for them. They don't have to do that. But when I had a knee replacement last year, I had like 27 cards with multiple people's signature in it that was all done on the night, and you know, messages sent to me and voicemails sent to me and things that just to kind of keep me buoyant and keep me going, because I couldn't be there, and I missed that supportive Ceroc community, being on the door, seeing everybody when they come in and knowing everybody. So that made a massive difference to me.
Yeah, of course.
But that's the kind of people that they are.
Yes, and I think that's fostered by the vibe that you set.
Yeah.
As an expectation of behaviour and conduct.
It is.
It's
it
great.
is. Yeah. It's just how we wanted it to be. Well, you've made use of the taxi dancers. I was going to ask you about that. Do you feel ready to move into the intermediate yet?
No. No, because I have a little degree of autism. I have Asperger's. Remembering moves.
Yes, challenge.
Is very difficult. I can remember energy and I can remember the flow of a movement when I am starting it.
Yeah.
But if I have to translate it into words and then give it a name,
you can't do that.
No.
But you don't need to.
No, this is what I've found. I don't need to. So I don't need to be examined. I don't need to be tested.
No.
I can't tell you the name of the dances that I've learned.
Me neither. And I run the thing.
Yeah.
You know.
So I will never know when I'm ready, but I know the person to ask.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So I will
Your
go
friend
to
Mark.
taxi. No, I'm going to go to taxi driver, taxi dancer, taxi dancer, Nicole or Nikki.
Yeah.
And have a quiet word with them.
Yeah.
And
absolutely. They're fabulous girls.
Yeah, they are.
Amazing.
Yeah, they speak my kind of language.
We're very lucky to have them as part of our crew. We've got
and
a brilliant crew.
They know.
Yeah.
And all I'll need to say is, do you think? And they'll tell me.
Absolutely. I think the thing with being a follow, it's a lot easier for us follows, because as long as you can read a signal, so a guy's giving you a signal and you can be led, you can dance.
Yeah.
You know, obviously you have your limits, you know, and you tell them that you're actually reasonably new to Ceroc and that, you know, you don't know some of the more complicated moves, you don't want to be dipped or dropped or anything. But as long as you can follow, you can come off that dance floor with a massive euphoria. Yeah. That actually, I've just had the most amazing dance because I could follow somebody and he just put me through this amazing moves. Yeah. And now I feel like $100,000 or whatever you want to call it. I just feel amazing because I can actually follow. Well, that's all you need to do.
That's exactly right. And I think for myself, you know, I'm a seasoned woman now. I'm
mature and experienced, my dear.
if I think about the wisdom that I have learnt in life, it is to be more open to being a follower. Yeah. Being more aware of energy. Yes. And the positive direction of things. Yeah. And that's certainly true on the dance floor.
And I think that resonates because I don't know, have you ever had a dance with Simon, the man who's blind?
Not yet.
I think that would be a brilliant dance for you because obviously Simon cannot see anything. So he bases his moves and on the feel and the vibe and the energy. He bases his dancing on that. Yeah. So for you, being that kind of a person, I think you need to ask Simon to dance next time you are at Derby.
I accept you.
Because obviously he can't see you to ask you to dance. No. So he has to wait for ladies to come and ask him. He's pretty popular on the dance floor. He's a very nice dancer. I think you'd enjoy that experience.
I will definitely accept your challenge.
Do it because we actually have invited Simon to come and do a podcast with us. So hopefully he'll be able to explain how he connects in a different way. That will be really interesting, I think. Yeah. And then you can feed back to us what your experience of dancing with Simon is.
I will.
Yeah, brilliant. So have you had any oops moments?
Yes. Yes.
What have you had?
So my second night, I was quite smug because the girls were panicking. The girls that I was coming with were panicking about footwear. I said, I've got a pair of shoes that'll be perfect, you know. Yeah. Sure enough, one just exploded. And the whole thing fell off. The whole sole fell off. Yeah. in the middle of a dance
Oh dear.
with Mark. And Mark said, "Don't worry, Liz will have something." So I came to speak to you.
And I super glued your shoe up.
You gave me, out of a packet of lots of small components containers of super glue, a personalised super glue kit for mending shoes. So obviously this has happened before.
It's a frequent occurrence.
I thought it was hysterical. You were like Penelope Pitstop. They had everything you needed.
Have everything you need. Yeah.
In that bag. But yeah, that was my oops moment. I definitely know that the problem was I was being too energetic, too excited, and I just did a turn, and the heel and the sole
Hey,
fell
you
off.
count on your shoes.
But it has taught me. I have had a conversation more recently with one of the taxi dancers, and it has taught me to see a beauty in an economy of movement. If I learn the key principles about sort of put yourself in your partner's place, have a light posture, you know, be tall when you're moving through the space, all of those kinds of things. One of them has to be, for me, I think, have an economy of movement.
Yeah.
Elegance
is better than
Yeah.
big wide stretches. If you do big wide stretches, you lose control, and your
Well, I
partner
was
loses
doing
control.
that. I get giddy.
Yeah, I think that's understandable.
When it comes to the free dance part,
freestyle,
I get a bit giddy, and I put in moves from 1982 that seem to be remembered. But
that's why it's called freestyle.
Yeah, I know. But one of the dancers said to me, "What style is that?"
So you taught somebody else your freestyle move.
No.
Oh,
Delia,
wow.
just rein it in.
Oh God. It's freestyle for a reason. You know, the guys quite often, you know, they're the ones that have to remember all of the moves.
Yeah, I know.
So it might come to a point where they get like a complete blank and they can't remember anything.
Yeah.
So they'll just do a little something that just pops into their head just while they have a think about it. So you might get some weird and wonderful things, but it's them thinking.
It was definitely a reference to the things that I was sprinkling in, shall we say. And so,
sprinkles,
you know, but so is elegance.
Of course.
And,
of course.
you know, I when I'm swimming, I like to do really, really easy and beautiful swimming. Yeah. And I feel the same way about my dancing. I want it to be easy, doable and beautiful.
Absolutely. And that's how you need to feel about it.
Yeah.
And that's why you feel so excited about discovering Ceroc. Yeah. Because it's ticking all of your boxes, isn't it?
Oh, completely. Completely, you know, friends, dancing, movement, and the exhaustion at the end of the night. You need to ask me.
Exhaustion.
You need to ask me, what do I do on Tuesdays?
Tell us. What do
I
you do on
lay
Tuesdays?
in bed. If it's a really great Tuesday, I might have a painkiller. It is. I mean, I do lots of classes at the health club, but it's a workout.
It is a workout.
Yeah. So
much more fun than the gym.
Yeah, it's more fun than any class, I can tell you that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Tuesdays has now got to be a low-key day for me. It also might be the fact that I'm out until late. Yeah. You know, didn't realise.
Past bedtime.
Yeah, on a Monday.
On a Monday night, school night. Out past bedtime, dear oh dear.
Yeah, all of those things. But, you know, what a difference it's making. I'm loving it.
That's amazing. That's amazing feedback. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
Can I just ask you one more thing? What would you say to somebody who was on the fence about coming to Ceroc?
Speak to Mark.
Mark Hillsley?
Yeah. Or speak to me. I'm being glib because Mark, he just does it better than me. I think, for me, the fact that you've got two fingers connecting with a partner, you don't have to be in close hold or anything like that. You've got two fingers connecting with a partner. But that is such a lovely experience. Yeah. And to be able to have a conversation which is physical, not verbal. Yes. With so many people in one evening, that's very rare feeling. I really don't know how to describe that, but it is a shared experience and it is wonderful for the mood. One of the things that I have noticed is that when we're driving there, we might be talking about aches, pains, problems.
Yeah.
And when we're driving back, we're just laughing.
See, that's brilliant, isn't it?
It's unbelievable.
The mental health part of it is massive.
So, you know, that harmonising that you have with another human, it's just wonderful.
It is. So you'd say join.
I would say who fit, come and get in my massive Kia. We'll go together.
She'll pick you
go
up
with somebody.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I'm more than welcome to meet a new person and bring them along.
100%. I mean, if somebody is coming alone and they feel nervous about coming in, please just call me. I'm sitting on the desk. I'm more than happy to come out and greet you at the door and bring you in and introduce you to people. Don't stand there feeling nervous for goodness knows how long. Just call me. I will put the number at the bottom of the video. Just call and come in. Brave it for the first time because you'll be so glad that you did.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, DeeDee. It's
been
been great talking to you. Thank you.
No problem.